scan detected.
Alright, so I am live and I'm already in the middle of the battle. If just the pirates can give me a break for one single episode, I'll be so happy. So while I'm running away from the pirates, I would like to thank you guys for joining me today in episode number 10 of the Nomanskyinterceptor Wonders Show. Some things never change, correct? So even though this is episode number 10, I'm still getting attacked by the pirates, and I'm making a new relaxed mode save to avoid getting in ongoing battles with the pirates every week. But unfortunately it's gonna take a while, because when I started this relaxed game mode, it was so boring. I was not able to at least finish the main mission yet. So what is if you are joining for the first time, what is this show about, correct? Why I have this show? So this show is just about exploring the vast galaxies of No Man's Sky, while highlighting the different civilizations that we have, and provide some impressions in PSVR2, and have some guest interviews where we can have the founders or different team members of these civilizations that exist in these galaxies, and gives them a channel to talk a little bit about these different civilizations. So it's episode number 10. I can't believe I managed to do 10 episodes so far. So thank you all for your support and for watching the show. Today I have a special guest. I have the Lord Emperor himself, the founder of the Indominus Legion, correct? So it's a very popular civilization, and it's actually Indominus Infernal civilization, but they go by Legion, and they are so kind to join me today in today's show. So thank you for joining me today, Lord Emperor yourself. Thank you for joining me.
No problem at all. Glad to be here.
Yes, and I am in your system, guys, and this is one of the most red bloody system I ever seen. I've just jumped in here a few minutes before the show, just to be able to seeing that everything is working fine, and it looks like a blood red system. And even so, the PSVR2 is still not reaching the biggest potential in No Man's Sky. The amount of asteroids that I'm looking at right now, with the red, background of this system, all different kind of reds, and with the big freighters, it looks and feel like you are in space. So I'm so impressed with this unique system. I didn't think I've seen anything as red as this before. So thank you for having me here. So how should I call you, man? I feel calling you Lord Emperor for the whole thing is gonna be a little bit silly.
Just Indominus is fine.
Indominus, yes, Indominus. So, Indominus, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit, to the folks who may not know a lot about you?
Sure thing. So I'm Indominus Infernal, the founder and ruler of the Indominus Legion civilization and community for No Man's Sky. I've been running it for a few years now, and our numbers have grown far beyond what I would have ever expected. But other than that, I am in fact writing our own lore as well. We slowly develop our own book and eventually video game. But right now, we've been expanding through the outer reaches of No Man's Sky, and I hope I've been leading my flock pretty well to conquer whatever we can.
Perfect. Thank you for the introduction. So you have engaged the pirates. Oh, they were not mine. Thank God this time. Okay. So I see the Legion training complex.
Yes.
Is this close to where we are supposed to go?
Yes, the Legion training complex is the first of our many glorious builds in the system.
Perfect. Okay, so why don't you tell me how long you have been playing No Man's Sky?
So, I've been in No Man's Sky since its launch in 2016. But obviously, there were moments where I took some breaks during the initial launch of the game, and I since returned a bit more actively in 2018, which was around the time the Legion was born.
Oh, so you are one of the pioneers, correct?
Yes.
From the old time of No Man's Sky.
Yes, when it was a true sandbox of a game.
Yeah, such a journey. Okay, so I'm supposed to be able to, hear the chat, but I'm not hearing it properly. So just give me 1 second. I need to check the settings because I think I need to maybe expand a little bit the volume or something. Just 1 second.
No problem.
Because been testing this for so long with a little bit of luck so far. Oh, I heard that. I'm so happy. So Solar said, something. I think he made an asterisk or something. And I also see Kim joining. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Solar. I'm so happy. I just had to refresh this and I forgot to refresh it. Yes, I can hear you. There will always be a little bit of delay. Maybe this is normal for all of the streams, not just the VR ones, but I can hear you. So thank you guys for joining, and it's gonna be a little bit new to me to be able to respond to live chat while doing the interview and giving impressions. But I'm finally able to hear the chat. So happy. And if you guys see anything wrong now, you can tell me on the chat. I also fixed the tracking, so I expect no problem with the tracking. People who survive the first 9 episodes, you guys are heroes, correct? So hopefully starting with the Legion, things is gonna be better. Okay. So I'm being attacked even I'm in your inside your base here. So
welcome to Imperius.
Yeah. So the main thing I noticed so far is you guys have a little bit of, I don't know, orcs of the World of Warcraft impressions. Is that something inspired you guys a little bit somehow?
I would say over time we've adopted being called the 40k styled No Man's Sky civilization. I myself, surprisingly, at the start, wasn't massively into 40k at the time. I knew bits about it. I'd seen some of the YouTube videos, and it was only since people started making the connections between them that I started looking into it a bit more and started to think, oh, we are the 40k of No Man's Sky. I would say we're a mix between the Imperium of Man with the Orcs mindset. That'd probably be more accurate.
Yeah. Perfect. So where can we start the tour, correct? And why don't you tell me a little bit about, the history of the Indominus Infernal? So I done a little bit of research about you guys, and pretty much everyone respect you guys a lot. Call you guys by Legion, and you can just tour me around here from where to go, because I see here this wall is closed. Should I just jump over it, or it will open?
It should just open like that. Yeah, there we go.
That's impressive. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is just like the main atrium of the Legion training complex. Some of the people who may see this may recognize this from their training days. Some currently training with us. So this is our most popular training grounds for where we train legionaries, but also any of the No Man's Sky community that want to come along and get their combat skills up. We train forms that are useful for both PvP and PvE. And like I said, this is the popular establishment that they all like to come and visit. So in here is just the atrium room, where it's all meant to look nice and fancy, and then outside we've got our arenas.
Perfect. So I see Max joined. Hi, Max. And Slayer was asking about, the Warhammer, if you guys have met other factions somehow, so in the game when you're playing it.
Yes, so we've come across quite a few other No Man's Sky communities. I'd say there's not too many that share our style of quite being a 40k dark sort of antagonist faction. However, there have definitely been a few that have still crossed our paths that like the sound of having a bit of a fight with us, so to speak. There's a few that have picked up interest in PvP and have made contact with us since. I think usually when a faction likes to do PvP, not always, but we're often contacted at some point. We've always promoted being the antagonist for the immersion, but I can assure you we're nice guys, really, behind all of the ominous intent.
So this is I see Bella also joined. Hi Bella, thank you for joining. So this complex remind me a little bit of the Galactic Hub prison, but it's more dual.
Yes.
Yeah, it's more dual based, correct? So,
yes. Yeah. So this is our main arena. This is the arena that absolutely every single person that has trained with us will have visited, will have trained in. This is where we train people how to use our combat forms. But primarily it's where we will have our 1v1 duels, we'll have sparring practices, people practicing the forms that they've learned and just battling it out. It does actually manage to hold a bit of a multiplayer free-for-all as well, despite sort of only having two distinct sides. We have had some chaotic moments with 8 players all jumping in and trying to blast each other in this arena.
Yeah, I would like to actually come and join one of these. Now, I thought I'm a good player, but thought that this is actually something that's, only in PvE, while in PvP it's completely different. So the Galactic Hub folks really killed me like 4 times in like 4 minutes before, and even so I am in VR, like I have shields and everything. The PvP settings are completely different, even the weapons. So I would like to come and see this happens before. So the
Definitely,
guys on the
definitely. You
chat
can,
really like the arena. And so how does it work? You'll have one team here and one team there, and the one who survives in the end win, or how does it work?
yes, I mean that is pretty much it. We like to keep it simple when we're trying to have our duels, because the main focus is watching how the opponents face each other, how they use the form. So if we have our more elite battle masters, who are the people that can train legionaries and anyone that comes along. This arena is quite open and kept simplistic, so it's easy to see how people perform and if they use the forms correctly. So we'll just have one person here and one person on the other side, or however many people we're having in the duel, and they'll just battle it out in this arena until one of them claims victory.
Perfect. I'm actually saying that this looks like you guys designed it in a way that's really providing the same equal fair chances, so both sides looks identical. And the red
Yes.
color here, with aggressive animals, the predators, the storms. Man, this is hell, correct? So I'm gonna go inside here.
It's very appropriate for us.
And
we like a bit of hell.
yeah, and we maybe move to the next place. While you can, tell me a little bit on, so from history perspective, how long you guys have been working on the civilization, and a little bit about the history. What made you guys actually create it instead of joining another one?
So this started in October 2018. That's when the Legion was officially established. But originally, this faction was actually just a group of friends, really. We made a Discord just so we could have a group of 4 somewhere to voice chat that was a bit more effective than the No Man's Sky voice chat, which at the time, I don't know how it is now, but was a bit precarious. But ever since then, we just attracted more and more people, and eventually at some point we decided, you know what, I think we're becoming big enough to become a civilization. We're becoming big enough to become our own faction, to become our own group. And rather than sort of joining someone else with our few members, we took a shot at it and tried to make a faction. We claimed a few worlds, claimed a few more, gained a few people, and by about 50 members, we were starting to become quite a rapidly growing civilization, reaching our first, I think, 300 members within just a month or two. And then after that, it's just been steadily growing up to now 2,000. A great 2,000.
That's wonderful. I mean, even so, the Galactic Hub team have a prison for fighting. So far, the thing that's really impressed me in all the previous episodes, that every civilization, even so, pretty much use very similar build items. Every one of them have their own feeling and brand and unique amount of colors. So far, I'm getting completely different vibe, and I didn't try, this. I think I can do like boxing in VR right now. I don't think you guys can do boxing, correct? The problem is that I can never reach you because there is like an invisible wall in multiplayer. So there is no way my hand can reach you. You just you will go back as soon as I'm getting close. But I think if they allow some fist bump, it will be nice, because we can fist bump the NPCs. And Solera was asking, have you guys built any Titans? I mean, I don't think you did, but have you done any Titans by any chance?
Unfortunately, we've not built a Titan. If they mean the 40k Titans, I'm not sure if there's enough build parts to make those ginormous structures. We have had some people make some AT-ATs from Star Wars, however. We've had a few sort of unique builds, but yeah, a Titan would be pretty cool. Maybe a miniaturized version, because I think they're meant to stand over mountains.
Perfect. So this was another arena, correct, but slightly more mazy-like, correct? More for, more tactical, I think.
Yes. So this arena, because of the way that multiplayer works in No Man's Sky, and PvP is a very harsh event on your FPS rates, we needed to try and keep all of the decorations to a minimum. We just have the base parts that we need to make the arenas, but if we had too many decorations, it would be absolute chaos trying to get PvP to work, because you need absolutely ferocious speed in PvP to have a chance, and a cluttered base build would make it almost impossible to be able to effectively conduct PvP. So we design it simply so we can have everyone have good FPS rates, everyone's got a fair chance with their sort of smooth running of the game, and we can just get on and have a good time PvPing.
Perfect. Yeah, I noticed that you guys want people to focus on, more fun in PvP and avoid having too much, base loadings and stuff like that. Okay, so really this location is very interesting, because it's under a natural mountain, and you have this flying island and all the different color shifting here. I think it's really matching this overall theme. Okay, where should we go next? And I would like to do, space encounter. I know you guys for sure have done it, so you may know already what's gonna summon in space, but I want to see it in, in VR2, hopefully something new. Which place should we go to next?
So I think if we could stay on this planet and we could go to the Siege Exercitus or Malastarium, they're very close to each other. Okay. And they should be just right over here. It might be quicker to just pulse from the atmosphere.
Okay. So Solier is asking, what is your favorite fighter?
I'd have to say the Venator class. We do like the Sentinels, but I think our Venators, they just have that very imperial, impending doom sort of feel to them.
Yeah. A little bit of Star Wars themes also. So I'm coming. Let me just do the let me check what stellar anomaly we're gonna find here. So let me see. Oh, of course. So we have this. What is this called? I haven't seen this before in VR. I hope it will not attack me, correct? So it looks like the anomaly, but it's more scary, and there is like fire coming out of it. I don't know, I think. Yeah, I can't go in. So these encounters in VR are very interesting, because there are too many of them. I don't think, in the documentation they say there is only 20 of them, but I think there is more. And I don't know what do they call this guy. I think I can't see what is being called. It looks like the anomaly, but it have fire coming all the way up from it, and it's really, really big. I'm gonna try to come as close as I can to it. What will happen if I shoot? What will happen if I shoot it? Nothing will happen. Oh, I destroyed it. Oh my god! And sentinels attacked me. I have a big sentinel interceptor coming right now, so I need to run. Oh my god.
We like our aggressive star systems.
This is a sentinel fighter. Yeah, it's gonna take some time to destroy it. So I'm just gonna, do the actual cowardness, because I know people hate me saying this every time, but I have logged my difficulty settings on max, and I logged it, correct? So fighting will take so long, and some people already hated me fighting all the time.
Yeah, the Legion never runs from a fight. It's their mistake if they pick one with us.
So, okay, I'm coming to you now, and I read you guys are doing like a war going on right now. So why don't you tell me a little bit about this? What kind of war your guys are doing, and also what does people expect to do, correct, when joining the civilization? You mentioned the training, the PvP, what else? And I Infamous joined on the chat. Hi man, thank you for joining. Okay, now I have lost the sentinels and I'm coming to you. So let me see. I see the Legion training complex. No, I think you're on a different planet, correct? Are you
It's the same planet, but it's just a bit further away. It's on the other side of the planet. Okay. It should be the Siege Citadel Exercitus build.
Okay.
But yes, we are. The Legion is currently at war, much to our happiness at that. I will just put out there. This is something that is an organized event between both sides. There's no real hate or disagreement going on. We're all happy. We're just trying to create some fun war games to have amongst ourselves and put something else into the No Man's Skies growing community. But other than that, it's slaughter, massacre, and bloodshed all the way.
Perfect. Something strange happens that a new, anomaly object summoned and it called me. I answered the call, but nothing happened. Sorry, but it looks really interesting. So, yeah. So how do you guys organize this war?
So the war is still in its planning stages, but it's coming to the end of the planning stage, thankfully. So I approached the leader of another civilization, that civilization being the Empire of Anomalies. And I proposed to them that we try and completely obliterate their civilization, but in a very friendly, fun manner. So I approached him and said, do you want to have some fun war games, have a bit of a fight going on, create a new event? And he was completely down for it. So we started planning this war. We planned the galaxy it was going to be in. We planned the star system that it was going to be in, the region, sorry. And we've set up some safe zones, as well as some systems where it's just all-out PvP. And then we have some event systems where we'll have proper thought-out events that will be sort of styled in a similar way to the Battlefield games, where there's or Armor even, where there's a large open space that the players can just roam around, try and find each other's bases, and just claim victory over each planet and go through each star system like that, claiming planets, claiming star systems, reclaiming them, and so on and so forth. And the first battle should hopefully be happening soon, but we're yet to set an exact date on this.
That's something I never heard about before. I'm sure it have been done, but this is, at least in the recent history, a huge amount of planning, and it's really interesting, correct? I mean, I remember that I always said in the past it would be good to just, have an in-game systems to allow people to actually do actual wars. But then what I noticed is that people are just doing it anyway, and it's really a huge amount of effort and coordination. But at the same time, it sounds a lot of fun, correct? So you guys will fight over specific areas, and then people will be able to claim different planets against the name of the civilization, and then they will actually fight. You'll have safe zones. That's looking extremely interesting. So where are we right now? What is this place called?
So this is one of our siege builds. So this is a repurposed FOB structure, forward operating base. On the other side of the lake, if you can see through the fog, there is an identical base with a slightly different name. And so these bases are used for a team-based PvP session where either side has a set amount of lives, and they have to either destroy the enemy team or activate the sphere generator that is in the entrance of these bases. The siege mode is still being worked on a little bit, just to find out what our capabilities are, to work out all of the areas that we need to make it fair. But we have had a few test runs, and they have been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun testing them out. We've had some, I think, 3v3s. I think we managed a 4v4 once. But it's definitely something that we hope to really get going a lot more often. But like I said, this is a repurposed FOB structure, which is the Legion's sort of becoming staple build, where we place several of these FOBs throughout the No Man's Sky universe. We put them at the center of each galaxy. We put them at community events on expedition worlds as a bit of a relief post. So as you'll see as we go through, players can come in here to either hide from sentinels, they can hide from players that are maybe trying to attack them. They can come and get resources, use refiners. It's sort of a bit of a safe zone post, but also something that the Legion uses as its base of operations for when we're going out on patrols or going on a bit more of a hunting sort of raid.
And I see this is more of a rainbow always showing inside here. So I have seen the rainbow for too long, and there's a question I think from Slayer saying, do you guys want to hire some builders, correct, for a bigger builds, because they expect when you say siege maybe more of more of castles and stuff like this. But I really like the idea, like having a place where we just can regroup. It's all war-based ideas, and it's all war-based themes with a lot of red colors and a lot of red lightings. I really like it.
Yeah, and we're definitely up for hiring some builders. We have our building divisions in the Legion, which we call the artifacts, sort of a mishmash of the Latin word for architects. And these builders build a lot of our bases, like the training complex. They build certain structures. The FOBs I made myself, so sorry if they're not the most visually appealing, but I tried to make them as a fortress looking as possible. But we're definitely down for taking on some more builders. There's always more projects that the Legion's undertaking regarding buildings. I'm hoping that we can maybe get some city builds going. Not everything's military, so if that's not your style, don't worry, because we have plenty of options, plenty of things that we need building. I'm sure we'd find a place.
Yeah. And I see this, the new interceptor ship. I don't think I have seen this one before, with 4 eyes, correct? And again, it's red, and
yes.
it looks it looks wonderful. again matching the whole theme. Kim is just offering you to build a city for you guys. I'm not sure if I heard her right. So what else do we have to see here, correct? Why don't you show these guys the next location? I think this is, I fixed the chat,
Yes.
and this is maybe the most amount of attendee I ever had, correct? And now they are not stop talking. So this is very interesting. Let's go.
Yeah, so we can head over to the detention center. I think it's a good time to show where we put our permanent residents.
Yeah.
This one is on a different planet as well, so we're saying goodbye to the Legion training world, and we're heading over to one of our other military structures where we house our prisoners of war and any other people that we just want to throw in there and eventually, most likely, have executed.
Executed. Oh my God. So is this like a big do I see anyone dead in there? So I don't think people actually die in No Man's Sky, correct?
Well, you come back, don't you? You can always respawn, I suppose, but there's things that we can do.
Yeah. I expect you guys have planned something for the prisoners. So the war prisoners. Some in the history of civilization, some just don't take prisoners. But I think unfortunately here we'll have to take prisoners because people just can simply die. I think Max was just mentioning that there is a lot of interest in PvP. They tried it before, but I think that it's not originally planned as a PvP game, but because we love the game and we love the mechanics, then what things when we play it, we love it. We just find a way to make it work. I'm trying to find you, and Pella was asking, what do you do with your inventory when you play in PvP? You just remove all of your inventory before you start playing, or you just change the settings?
So originally, before the update with No Man's Sky for the difficulty, it was just a case of make sure you've got a hauler that you can put stuff in, or just be ready to go grab your grave every single time. We used to have to do it that old-fashioned way, but thankfully in No Man's Sky, there's certain settings you can change that don't kick you out into a different game mode, such as turning off dropping your equipment, which is very helpful in PvP. We do recommend it. We don't force it if someone wants to go fetch their grave for whatever reason every time. But you can now turn off losing your items, so people can just, if they're killed, they can just hop straight back in. They can also, and we do recommend this for PvP where you may have, say, 5 lives in a match, turn off technology damage, because if you don't have the materials on you and you need to hop back into the fight and all of your weapons are busted, well, you might not be very useful to your team. So there's certain settings that we recommend you turn off that don't have any sort of impact on other players. It doesn't make it unfair. It just helps to make the PvP run all that smoother.
Okay, and I noticed some new folks joined. Thank you for joining, guys, on the chat. I think Soli just joined. And the most important tip is that don't lock your settings, correct? So that you can have a chance to be able to change them before joining PvP. Yeah, I'm starting a new character. Hopefully it will be ready for next week. Hey Corey, thank you for joining. So I am coming here. We're gonna take a look to the prison. This is gonna be the second prison I see. And probably, I'm gonna start, changing the theme a little bit, because I had 2 prisons in 3 episodes. But wow! So this is an anomaly planet, correct?
Yes.
And these things looks massive in VR. I mean, let me just try to take a close look. Unfortunately, As per my last review, when things move, they look a little bit blurry. But if you just take and don't move a lot, it looks very good. It looks really, really big. And even so, you're in the same system. This system have a lot of clouds. So, I like the anomalous one because they give you this loneliness feeling that you are actually in space. I expect space in reality to be mostly empty. But, thanks to the different civilizations, it's starting to be a little bit less empty. So what do you guys think about, the new update? What do you like the most about the Interceptor update? In case you really like it, and why don't you walk me through how can I go inside the prison?
So if we start through here, this is the sort of our reception area. It's a bit of a walk to the prison for security reasons. We don't have landing pads next to the prison or any exocraft, so one ship can land here and then we just head off down to the prison. But yeah, the Interceptor update was very interesting. I think it wasn't what we were expecting, but in terms of an update, I think it got a very positive reception from most people in the Legion. We have had our own sort of wants for No Man's Sky updates for quite a while, and there's definitely things that we would love to see in the game. But this Interceptor update was quite a nice surprise for us because it brought Sentinel ships which look just exactly like some of the ships from our own lore that we've been writing. They look really cool, they're well developed, and they sort of suit our quite aggressive style, as well as the multi-tools that came with them. The multi-tools, we've been waiting for a good PvP weapon that isn't sort of an alien rifle and doesn't quite fit our heavy armored style. So the Sentinel multi-tools that are well equipped for PvP. I do have to say it's the Sentinel rifle, not the pistol. It's good for PvP. They look really cool. So overall, I think we got quite a good reception. I personally have really enjoyed this update. I think there's been some really cool features. I like the new Sentinels. I think overall it's just been a very fun experience so far. It's helped add to what we've already been doing.
Wow, I really like this door, and I think pretty much everyone loves the new update. Everyone had a very low expectations, and it was a big surprise. But I heard, especially if you play in VR, the new sniper rifle is something that people really appreciate, especially if you want to have more feeling of an actual gun, correct? So the lore, why don't you tell me more about about the lore? And also I read about your how do you say, your index archives, correct? What's that called? I forgot the name.
The Imperius archives.
Yes. So this is where honor people are being saved. I think I cannot go through this door. It's locked for me.
I think I have to go and open the doors from inside the prison. I did lock them when I was last here, actually. So if you want to wait in there, I'll go and open the doors for you.
Oh my God! You actually lock the door so prisoners can't get out. That's new. Okay. But you actually lock the people in the prison. Interesting.
Oh yeah. So we've got a save point in our maximum security area. So if we somehow manage to get a problematic player that we want to lock away, get them to save their game there, we don't have to worry about them anymore. But obviously, we won't keep anyone here against their will or to the point where we're going to ruin their gaming experience. We sort of more mean that for either a roleplay scenario, or if we do somehow manage to get, say, a troll or a griefer, someone who is just trying to harm the community, if we can trick them into that, then we can lock them away. So if you want to go upstairs, I've unlocked the upstairs area.
Upstairs?
Yes, that's the first area. Because the one that I think you're at is our minimum security, but you can access it through the outdoors because there's an outdoor area for them.
Okay, let me see. I am gonna be so impressed if the door open actually. Okay. So I passed one door, but this one.
Is the door not open for you? Oh dear. And here's some evidence that No Man's Sky needs a multiplayer update, which is what the Legion has been saying for a very long time.
This one opened, but this one didn't open yet.
Oh, I see. It's open on my side, so that's a bit odd.
I haven't seen this before. I mean, I have seen some tries of people controlling doors, but I haven't actually seen people able to create doors that's controlled, because this looks also a very good idea for having actual airlocks for fighters. I really hate that, my fighter just open without a reason. Yeah.
I would. It might be best to go on the outside and jet back up.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
If it's a desync issue, you might be able to unlock the doors yourself. If I just point at which button to press.
Yeah, but I think I need to find a way to even, how did I get in here? I think I'm logged.
In here.
Yeah. How did I get in here? This is a door. Oh, yeah, I made it. I made it outside. So we just can jet in. But I really like It's a cool idea, correct? And now this is a prison. Okay.
Yes. So here's the outdoor area of the prison. This upstairs bit, it leads back to the control room. The floor below is where you would have come out, which has some nice glass flooring, so you can look into the minimum security wings. We've got a Korvax, a Gek wing, and a Viking wing.
Interesting. So the expectation is that this is also can be used for PvP or just for actual prison?
So there was some speculation on how we could use this in PvP. We could simulate a prison break. So say if there's 4 guards and then there's 2 prisoners and 2 people that have to come and try and rescue the prisoners, whilst the prisoners themselves try to escape the prison. But this was something that is being sort of only spoken about lightly, not in great detail, but we think it could definitely make for some cool events.
Yeah, I really like that you guys have a lot of focus on the lore and making actual role-playing, stories and sequence. You mentioned in the start is you actually write your own lore and even writing your own novel or game. I'm not sure. Is that
Yes.
correct? So I really like this prison. It's giving me the feeling that I am trapped. I was scared a little bit when I was trapped. I thought, I'm done for it. Correct? So it's really well done with all of the lightings and the very carefully well planned, areas. So I think we are running, out of time. Any other places that we can visit? I think they are mentioning that do you guys have any dojos that we can visit? I'm not sure.
Yes.
Okay, so let's take a look to the dojos and then tell me a little bit about your hobbies, about writing, and maybe I think we are approaching 45 minutes, so we can wrap it there. I'm still recovering from a very bad cold, so and this is gonna be probably I don't want to jinx it, but probably the first time ever I don't have any VR disconnection issues. So I'm so happy. I want to finish one episode without losing VR tracking, because for a show that's actually promoting VR, I actually give the worst impressions about VR.
Yeah, no worries at all.
Oh my god! I see your ship right now above my head, and it's massive. correct? So from down here, these sentinel ships are really, really a sight to behold. Okay, I'm following you. Sorry, I interrupted. Go ahead.
No worries, no worries. So I think what some people might be meaning, if I've heard this correctly, is the Battle Master Dojo, which is one of our more recent builds, but it's definitely becoming one of our more infamous of the builds. It's, again, because it's mainly for PvP, it has a focus on being simplistic, but we have tried to make it look a bit more ominous, a bit more unique, and have its own sort of feel to it to make it feel like the Battle Master Dojo, where our elitist, our most elite PvPers go to do battle, where the trainees, so whether they are a legionary or someone who is visited from another civilization, once they've completed their training with us, they will undergo what we call the Battle Master Trials, where they come to test their mettle to see if everything they've learned has gone in, see if they have improved their PvP, and they face down against one of our very own Legion Battle Masters, which have been tested in the UFC Galactic Games. They've earned a name to be feared, and if they manage to succeed these trials, they will eventually be able to claim a Battle Master certification. So they'll get a certified card and the Battle Master title, deeming them a fit or adept at PvP by our standards.
Man, the terminologies, oh my god, correct? As the amount of system you guys implemented, it's very interesting. I was actually trying to go, through the clouds, even so I've been now around close to 70 hours in PSVR2, the next generation version, going through the clouds, correct? Going through the atmosphere and back in is still amazing, So all the graphical issues that we have right now is mainly on planets, but the space looks wonderful.
Yes, it's I chose this location specifically because of its low gravity, which some people might not think it, but adds a whole new layer of challenge in PvP. So those that do the trials here, those that practice here, are practicing in a much more difficult environment than standard PvP, which is on normal gravity. You have to be a lot more accurate with your speed. You have to be a lot more accurate with your shots, because people will go flying if they jetpack too much. And overall, it just creates that extra layer of challenge that when someone can master a low gravity world, the normal gravity worlds become, they just melt like butter in front of them.
Yeah. It's like, when we saw the Starfield trailer, correct? People will actually jump in low sky moon, and it's completely different, Unfortunately, we only have two different kinds of gravity in No Man's Sky. Hopefully, they can introduce more now. I think they're getting more control on the technology here with introducing new types. People are discussing this because maybe Sentinels and the Interceptors are able to introduce new, slight change to the environments, new types of planets without actually resetting the game. But I'm looking up here, correct? And
yes,
if these things follow me, I'm toast, correct? So you have the trainings here, correct? How do they train? Why don't you tell me a little bit about how does it actually work?
So the little message module that plays when you arrive here says only the worthy shall rise. So if you're sort of more towards the end game, you've played No Man's Sky for a while and got some good jetpack modules, you should be able to reach the dojo. We don't have any other way of getting up there, so you have to sort of have a good enough loadout to get up here. It's, sort of our immersive way of weeding out the weak, so to speak. There's no landing pads, there's no stairs or teleporters. You have to fly up if you want to enter the dojo.
Oh my God. You already inside the dojo?
Yes, I've just jumped up because there are some antimatter orbs. So if your jetpack doesn't have the fuel, you can do a bit of parkour and jump from the antimatter orbs that are up there. If you need to,
I can stand on one of them. Can I stand on one of them? I think even so my jetpack is maxed, I cannot get above it. It's so hard. Okay. The more I think I know this game, the more I know that I'm still completely new. Okay. I see. Maybe. But this thing, man, it will hurt me. Why it's hard? Okay. So
this is one of our more, I suppose, difficult builds. This is meant to be an entire challenge to bring out the true frustration of people.
Okay. I think I understood how it will work. It's very tight. Okay, should be tight. So, have you actually published, any of the lore already somehow for people who love it? Have you published any of your own novels somewhere?
So far, I've not published the main book that I'm writing, which will be called the Palladium, and that's sort of our completely own creation away from No Man's Sky. But there is a faction in there called the Indominus Legion, and that's where our sort of inspiration for our group here is sort of drawing from. I have, however, released some short stories called Tales from Imperia. I send them out in an email blast to people that want to follow it, and then they can read the stories about the sort of life on the solar city sized megastructure, capital of humanity in the future, where it's essentially a giant slum megastructure that people live on, where all the dark happenings of the universe happen in the inner bowels of the system. It's sci-fi cosmic horror, so taking inspiration from Alien and Star Wars, from H.P. Lovecraft, and putting it into a dark dystopian future where everything is just horrible and trying to kill you.
Man, I have already died a lot in these episodes. I have never died before in the game except in the expedition. I'm so happy I made it to here, correct? I feel I was so sad not able to made it. It looks really nice because it's so high. And this planet is ice. We know when people think about dojos, they usually think about places like far, Asia, correct, APAC region. So I think the theme is so good with all of the lightings, and I expect ninjas to show from here. I really hope they introduce some ninja clothes or stuff like this, and people will actually command the train inside here. Okay, so. This looks so big. I think it's very well constructed. I think you guys, again, focus on the PvP aspects. So you're trying to, simplify the decoration. But for a dojo, yes. Correct? It's an actual dojo where, you can just jump here from one place to another. And
yes. So this is the main arena. This is the main part where two opponents, this is designed for 1v1s only, and two opponents would stand on the podiums where the lights are, and then they would fight in this big atrium, either if they're doing the Battlemaster trials. This is where one of the trialists that have done all their training would face down a seasoned, well-experienced veteran Battlemaster and attempt to best them in combat or break their shields before their own shields break. And if they succeed, then they can rise to the title of Battlemaster. And we have a little bit of a very light, casual roleplay element where they can rise up to the top of this arena, and there's a little a little throne and some decorations. Yeah.
Oh, man, I was so close to go up here. Yeah.
But like you said, we try and keep it simple. So the FPS rates remain good, but we try and make the decorations look as nice as possible, so it's not too bland.
That's actually nice. So the folks on the chat want me to challenge you, but I am in VR, so VR is not fair because I can put my hand in front and I can put my shield like this. But even with that, I'm sure I'm gonna die, correct? So I've died a lot in PvP. I don't want to die again, correct? And folks believe, I think Max believes there is already ninjas inside No Man's Sky, probably a civilization ninja somewhere. But I really like this. I think I can fly and kick with my hand, correct? But I'm gonna fall down. So go ahead.
I was just going to say our training forms incorporate something that people could argue makes you look like a ninja. With some of the speed that we do.
Yeah. So I really think that's wrap it for today. I'm trying to hit a record with episode number 10. That's gonna be the first one with no problems, no technical issues. I just wanted to ask, is there any other games that you play, additional to No Man's Sky, that you want to share with the team? And please send me the link for, the novel, the short stories. Kim, in the chat, he also wrote some comics using mod, which is very, very interesting. So, I'm going to put it in the description. And, tell me about this, and then we're going to wrap up. I'm getting a lot of low sickness in VR. I have climbed a lot of stuff today. I can keep going for as long as I can, but unfortunately I need to stop eating before the stream. But I think this was one of the nicest episodes, especially that I was finally able to hear the chat and give the questions from the folks. So what else do you play additional to No Man's Sky?
So the Legion community has grown quite a lot over the past year. I'd say it sort of blew up over the past year, and I think that is partly thanks to some of the expansions we've made into other games. So we play other games like Warframe, Minecraft, where we have our own server. We have played Trove, the new Darktide, 40k, Warhammer 40k Darktide, and then we have some expanded games where we may not focus on them as much, but they're quite popular in our community. So we have a load of forums that people can access on our Discord that allows them to discuss and play all sorts of games together. We've got an absolute ton of them on there, so a real mix of games. But I'd say I'm probably switching between No Man's Sky, PlanetSide 2, and Warframe. I'd say they're my top 3 at the moment.
Interesting. That's good to know that you guys also organize other activities as a team. I really like the terminologies, the different systems, the training. You guys focus a lot on training. I didn't think, I have seen much training done before, and how you ensure, you provide actually some guidelines and actual real training to new, legions, who just join the civilization. A lot of work, a lot of effort. Me just standing here in VR, looking to the rings, looking to the sky. This is why I'm always gonna be, playing this game. And even so, I have seen a couple of red planets. They all slightly look different. And I'm just having a huge amount of fun playing the game. Very correct. So, man, I really had. Really had huge amount of fun, and I really appreciate you joining me today. Is the folks on the chat want us to do a sentinel how do you say fight, correct? But yeah, this is gonna take at least 20 to 30 minutes. They want us to do a 1v1, but I'm gonna die. I'm sure I'm gonna die, correct? So
you might get lucky.
no,
I'll put faith in you. Don't worry.
But there is no way, man, because I think there is specific weapons that we need to have in VR. Non-VR, correct? I don't have them. I think they will ask me before to have the pulse splitter is not really good in VR. So okay, I'm gonna turn on my BVB and I'm gonna just kill me fast, okay? And let's see how it will go, correct? So I have BVB allowed, correct? And wait, let me get back here. Okay, so let's see, let me just at least recharge my health, and then after this we are gonna wrap up.
No problem.
So let me know when you are ready.
I am ready.
I'm gonna kill you. Oops, I already need to reload.
Get some pre-shots off on me.
Yeah, so I need to remember actually how can I reload here, because yeah, I have, yep, here. Okay, now we are good. So we just fly around here and shoot until, oh my god, where are you, man? Oh, I'm dead already. I'm dead. This is taking me in 3 seconds and I already died. The mystery of life isn't a problem to solve, but a reality to experience. Yeah, I know. Happy now, Solar, correct? Are you happy, man? Now I need to go up there without dying. There is no way I can go up there now.
I'm so sorry.
Maybe I can land on the top of it.
I need to keep the Legion reputation up,
Man, I think there is just no way for me to actually get to my grave unless I'm able to land on top of it. Let me hope I can land on top of it.
Just for you, because of what I did to you, I'll put down a landing pad for you.
Yeah. A landing pad would be nice.
On this side.
Thank you, man. That was smart. Okay, so having my ass kicked every time here is not good, guys. It's not cool, correct? I really gonna need to start practicing BVB or do some non-BVB, sessions. Yeah. Okay, everyone is making fun of me in the chat. Okay, at least I got my item. So, Infernal, man, really, it was my pleasure having you today. Guys, thank you for joining us today in the chat, and I really appreciate all of you joining me today. Please, if you watch this, don't forget to subscribe and like, and people had huge amount of fun, I think, when they saw me died for some reason. And yeah, they advised me to have the neutron cannon better for for PvP. So thank you, Infernal. I really wish you guys all luck with the legions. Keep doing
thank you for having
this
me.
good work, and yeah, I think this wraps for a stream for today. Thank you for joining.